Luke coming at you from the shop. We're going to talk about this little miracle right here, this orange Permatex Loctite. I think the actual Loctite brand has a yellow version that's the same thing. I've looked at the specs and they're very similar. So here's the package. I'm going to read off the back. Brake strength for a 3/8 plain nut and bolt, 150 to 200 inch-pounds. So besides the torque, it can require easily 10 to 18 extra foot-pounds to break that free after it's torqued with this. So that's pretty good. It reaches a full cure in 24 hours. That's important to note. Do let it cure as long as you can before you put it to the test. Temp range, minus 60 to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. So what does that mean? That means, for those people who aren't to know, if you have a beautiful C5 Vet for a customer that has headers on it, and you don't want to go through the trouble of putting stage 8 locking fasteners on it, what they did a long time ago is they put the orange or yellow Loctite on here. You can still see the color trace of it in the bolt. And that held these headers from coming loose for 17 years since the work was done. I think the car is a 2003, and the work, the cam and the long tubes was done to the original motor in 3 years after the car was bought by the original owner. It's only on its second owner. And here, of course, we have a nice, beautiful LS stroker, fast intake, goodies, ported PRC heads, fun stuff on it now. So, I don't want to see this car back for an exhaust leak in a year. And I've also used this orange in a lot of places where you want a serviceable red, as it's called, and it's kind of nicer for that too. When you don't need ultimate strength. Like the only time I think I wouldn't use this, you probably could, would be like on a pinion nut. Somewhere like that, heavy duty vibration driveline type stuff with lots of torsional twist on it. That's probably the only spot where I'll still use the serviceable red. And then there's the non-serviceable red for people who also don't know. There's a lot of different grades of Loctite, from the green or the purple all the way on up. So for people who don't know, there's a lot of stuff out there with that helps to make sure stuff doesn't come back. So even on bolts that typically don't recommend it, I will use blue Loctite just to make sure I don't see it back for something there, especially if it's a semi-critical component, just because I want to make sure it goes out the door, it stays out the door. So that's my advice for today for product use. I really do endorse the orange Loctite. If you ever try it, just try it. Just put some on a nut and a bolt, put it on both surfaces, the inside of the nut and the bolt, wind them together, let it sit overnight, try taking them apart the next day. You'll see what I'm talking about. It actually works pretty good. You'll need some torque. Even if you spun them together the day prior with your hands, day after, you're going to need more than just your hands. Or 24-hour full cure time. So make sure you give them a full 24. But it works. From experience, I know how well it works. All right. Have a good day.